Let's read some new releases. Hi, I'm Alex, this is Pucks and Paperbacks, and I am starting a new series where I read my arcs. Every month, hopefully, you will get this series where I just read my arcs for a week. I have a couple things planned, so I'm gonna get straight into my TBR and start the vlog. One of my hopefuls this week are the In-Between Bookstore by Edward Underhill. This is a time travel story about a trans man who goes to his hometown and he ends up at the bookstore he used to work at, and pre-T him is there. I am so excited for this. I love Edward Underhill. This is his adult debut. The next book is the whole reason for this vlog. Recommended reading by Paul Coccia. Hi, editing me here because I have butchered this poor author's name. I apologize. It's Paul Coccia, not Paul Coccia. So sorry for that. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be mispronouncing it probably until the end of the vlog when I realize I've been saying it wrong. So again, apologies, it's Paul Coccia. If you saw my 2025 releases video, this is one of my anticipated releases. When I saw Here Our Voices book tour was doing a tour with this book, I immediately signed up. So this vlog is a part of a book tour with Here Our Voices. The link will be down below, how you can follow to read more reviews. So this is my priority for this vlog because I was kindly sent a copy by the publisher and Here Our Voices book tour. So thank you so much. I cannot wait to read this. It is a YA set at a bookstore. So we have some theme here in this vlog. We're following a 16-year-old boy, Bobby, who is a bookseller at his uncle's bookshop, and he ends up meeting a lifeguard, and he just ends up falling for him, and it sounds really cute. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. And then last, I have an audiobook from Libro FM's ALC program. This is Eric LaRocca's newest. I really hope I can get to this. This sounds really dark. And I know that I've been saying I'm gonna read happier books, but at least these two that I already have on my TBR are going to be sweet and hopefully not going to be very dark and depressing. If you're reading this, you've likely thought that the world would be a better place without you. A single line of text glowing in the darkness of the internet, written by Ashley Luton, who has often thought the same and worse in the years since his wife died and his young son disappeared. But the peace of the grave is not for him. It's for those he can help. Ashley has constructed a peculiar ritual for those who desire to die is at war with their yearning to live a better life. Struggling to overcome his own endless grief, one night Ashley finds connection with Jinx, a potential candidate for Ashley's next ritual, who spins a tale both revolting and fascinating. Thus begins a relationship that traps the two men in an ever-tightening spiral of painful revelations, where long-hidden secrets are dragged kicking and screaming into the light. Only through pain we can find healing. Only through death we can find a new life. I know you're all sitting there like, Alex, don't do it. But it sounds good. And it's only 4 hours. It's short, so I'm gonna do it, okay? I like Eric LaRocca. I really liked reading him last year. But if it's gonna be too dark, I will DNF it, okay? We're DNFing things this year. If it doesn't make me happy, it goes away. I'm not going to read anything that is going to upset me or give me anxiety. Those are the 3 books I'm hoping to read this week. If you enjoy this vlog, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. It really helps me out. Let's get reading. Hello, it's Saturday morning. I am reading the In-Between Bookstore. I am 69% nice, and I need to talk to you right now because I'm emotional. There's a scene where we're pretty much wrapping up and figuring out why Darby is set there. He meets his younger self, who he calls young Darby, and he's really realizing a lot of his choices as a teen are reflecting on him now as he's about to be 30, and he connects with his childhood friend Michael, and through young Darby, he's really learning what he should have known all along and is just kind of patching things up from childhood. And it's just really hitting me as somebody who is also 30 and is a trans person who figured out later in life. It's really making me think about like, oh, what would I say to my high school self? And so the scene that I'm just at where he orders a certain book for young Darby. Oh my god. The waterworks are coming. Like, I'm very invested in this book. I really like Edward Underhill's writing. It's very quick, and I'm also reading on Kindle, so that could be something to do with it. But I just am excited to be reading his books again. I really like his writing and his characters, and this is his adult debut. I actually wasn't going to update about this book at all because I didn't have much to update on, but as this happened, I was like, I have to pull out the camera. So I'm going to finish it up, and I will be back with my final thoughts. Edward, you will pay for your crimes that you just did to me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm 85% in. And oh my god. And it's not even sad. Like, it's happiness of what you could tell to your younger self. Like, what would you say to your younger self as a queer or trans person? Oh my god. Ugh. I didn't even expect that this book would wreck me or make me cry in any way, but I was very wrong. I was like, oh, this is just a sweet time travel book about a 30-year-old who's trying to figure out what is next in their life, and I'm gonna maybe like drink some water, give myself a little break, and then I will power through the rest of the book. What even is there next to come? I feel like this is the type of book that I'm gonna feel like really drained from. And it's not even sad. Again, it's happy. It's like, oh, if you could just tell your younger self, so many things could change. I think it's really interesting, an interesting concept, especially from the perspective of a trans person, and I'm interested to see how it wraps up. Hi, I just finished the In-Between Bookstore, so let's chat. I really enjoyed this. We're following Darby, a almost 30-year-old trans man. He's living in New York, and his job just laid him off. The book starts at a bar in New York, where we meet his friends, Olivia, Ian, and Joan. We're celebrating Olivia's birthday. And there's a lot about birthdays in this book. I like the way it was all connected. I like when books connect certain things and then after you're finished reading, you connect the dots. This is his adult debut. I really enjoyed his YA debut, Always the Almost. So I thought he did a great job with this adult version, and it just resonated with me in a lot of ways. Basically, our main character, Darby, after he's laid off, he just doesn't know what to do with himself. His rent is being raised and he doesn't have a job and he is spiraling out of control. So he decides to pack things up and go move back home in Oak Hills, Illinois to help his mom move into a condo. There is a dog named Mr. Grumpy. He's an old basset hound who is adorable, and basically, Darby has to confront a lot of things that he ran away from. And he's learning that he ran away from a lot of good things in this small town. And he makes amends with his former best friend, Michael. So the time travel aspect is in this bookstore called In-Between. He worked there as a kid in high school, and when he walks in for the first time, young Darby is at the counter. And this just really talks about what would you say to your younger self if you had a chance as a trans person. And that's why I was sobbing at this book. It was just making me really emotional, but in a good way, because yeah, as a trans person, childhood can be complicated. And if you had a chance to talk to your younger self, what would you say to them? I feel like it is a thought-provoking book and makes you think about what you would say to your younger self. I just really enjoyed this. I feel like I'm not even saying much about it, but the time travel aspect was fun. I really want to watch Back to the Future now. This is not Back to the Future-esque, it just has time travel, and Darby is finding out the purpose of him walking into this bookstore and it being 2009, but not being 2022, I believe. I tried to do the math as best as I could, and I believe that this was set in 2022. But it's complicated, it's messy, and that's what I love. I thought this was a great adult debut, and the time travel aspect was fun. It wasn't too cheesy. There were some times where I was questioning it and thinking, okay, maybe there's some timelines that we don't need, but you are gripped because you're like, why is he here? And then when he gets to talk to his younger self about being trans, heartbroken. Like, just so pure. And also just reflecting back on high school, I really liked how this talked about being queer in a small town, because Darby thinks that he can't be trans in this town, and he learns through Michael by going to a party of Michael's that there are queer people everywhere. And I think that's so important for right now, for people to realize that queer people exist everywhere. We have always been here, and just because you don't see us, you have to seek us out. I really enjoyed this, and if you like time travel and you just want a light book, this doesn't really have any transphobia or anything. I was trying to put together the content warnings, and honestly, the only thing I can really tell you is there's a mention of dysphoria, but it is very brief and it doesn't go into exploration or anything. To me, this is a light book, and I really needed that at the moment, so I really enjoyed this. I highly recommend it if you are a fan of adult books, especially this being somebody approaching 30. If you're like me and the same age as the character, I really like having stories like this. So if you just need a light book with some time travel, I highly recommend this. But it is probably going to make you question life choices. Sometimes you're gonna be like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done this in high school, but I really enjoyed it. Thanks so much to the publisher on NetGalley for approving me for a copy. I am so glad I got to read this. And now on to the next. Now I'm going to officially start recommended reading by Paul Coccia. Hello, it is Wednesday. I am about 50% into recommended reading. I'm really enjoying it. I just got done with my work for the day, so I'm really glad to now have some time to just sit down and devour this book. It has had a chokehold on me. I read so much last night, and that does not happen to me often. This is why I love YA contemporary though, because sometimes it just sucks you in, and that's exactly what this book is doing for me. Right now, it is Bobby's birthday, and we are about to see him go to a party, and I'm interested to see what Luke is about, because so far he seems like a very sweet boy. Bobby still thinks that he's straight, so I'm interested to see how their relationship blossoms, and hopefully that happens at this party. So far I'm really enjoying it, and I will be back when I have more to update on. Hi, I finished recommended reading last night, so let's chat. I enjoyed this. It is a YA rom-com following Bobby, who wants to have the summer of Bobby. The book starts out where he does a lavish love proposal to this boy, Truman, who he works with at the campus bookstore. Bobby is going into his freshman year of college, and he is smitten for Truman. But with Truman, the feelings aren't mutual, so Bobby feels so embarrassed because it's being recorded, and he gets into some trouble with the school. From his incident, he can't work at campus books anymore, so he calls up Uncle Andy, his uncle who is not blood related, but it's his mom's best friend, and he has a shop called Corner Books. It is a used bookstore, it doesn't get much traffic, and when Bobby comes in, he is able to revive the place. When he recommends a book to a woman in the store, he ends up becoming the book whisperer. Everybody wants wants the book whisperer to recommend them a book. There's even this man who owns a pizza shop who loves Bobby because of something that he did for his family. It's so funny. Needless to say, I enjoyed this rom-com, and it is a rom-com. There are funny moments, there are some heartbreaking moments, but it's not heavy at all, which I really needed at the moment. I have been reading just so many heavy books, and this did not have anything that was going to spike my anxiety. I had a normal level of anxiety with this book. There was nothing that was too heavy, and I really enjoyed it. However, I will say the romance was very slow. Bobby meets Luke, who is a lifeguard on campus, and he is known as Love Grinch. He doesn't like love, despite the fact that he was reading romance novels. But he said they weren't for him. I thought they complemented each other pretty nice. Bobby is a hopeless romantic, and he wants his love life to be like a romantic movie. But Luke is a love Grinch. He has seen a lot of bad relationships in his life. He's seen a lot of divorces in his family, so he doesn't believe in love. One thing I forgot to mention about Luke is he is pansexual. He is more of a realist. He gave me Jess Mariano vibes, where he is brooding, but he's just very laid back and casual, versus Bobby wants a big proposal and he needs romantic affection to be more extreme and like it is on movies. So that's why I think that they complement each other very well, because Luke doesn't need that. He just wants time and he wants to get to know somebody, and Bobby is the opposite. But opposites attract here. And I really like that dynamic. Luke was so sweet. I really enjoyed him. I just wish the chemistry was there a little bit more. I wanted more build up and cuter moments. I think it was too slow for my liking. Honestly, my one complaint is that the ending was very rushed. I like how the ending happened, and you saw the clip of me being so shocked by one of the reveals, but I wish we would have spent a little bit more time with these two. I just thought, since there were a few scenes that Luke wasn't in, and the romance didn't really feel like the forefront of the book. It's complicated because of what happens in the book, and I'm trying so hard not to spoil. This is very much a romance where the romantic one doesn't see it coming. So I understand why things ended that way and why the book was built around that, but I just wish I had more Luke. I really enjoyed him as a character, and I love that he just built up Bobby. Like I said, this wasn't very heavy. There is a trigger warning for some body shaming and bullying, but besides that, this is a very lighthearted book. I just thought this was so fun. If you're looking for a fun queer read that is going to give you wholesome vibes and make you feel something, I really enjoyed this. Thank you again to the publisher and to Hear Our Voices book tour for sending me a copy. Like I said, there will be a link down below to the book tour so you can read everybody else's reviews. I did enjoy this, and I can't wait to read more of Paul Coccia's work, because I saw he has this book and it's about chefs. So I might have to pick that one up next. And that wraps up the vlog. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that I can make more of these. I have February's planned, so I'm excited about that. I didn't get a chance to tell you about Eric LaRocca's book. I did start it, but y'all, I read some of the reviews and people were like, this is not for the faint of heart, and I don't have that in me at the moment, so that's just gonna be pushed aside for when I have the mental capacity to be reading a very dark book. I love Eric LaRocca, but I can't do it right now. Those are my reviews for some of the January releases. If you're interested in any of the books I mentioned in this vlog, I will have affiliate links down below. They're the best way to support me. It's no extra cost to you, but if you click my link and buy any of the books in this video, I will get a small commission, and it really helps support the channel. They are links to Libro FM and Bookshop, because we should support our local indies. Let me know if you're gonna pick any of these up. If you want to support me further, I have a Patreon. Thank you to my top patrons for their continuous support of this channel. It means the world to me. On Patreon, I share exclusive videos and what my content calendar is for the month, as well as a lot of behind the scenes things. So if you're interested in that, Patreon is the best way to support me for the cost of a cup of coffee or a Netflix subscription. The link is down below. I have paid and free options. If you enjoyed this reading vlog and you want more, here's my last reading vlog where I had TBR Games choose what I read. It was really fun. And you can subscribe here. Thanks for watching. I hope you're all taking care of yourself, and I will see you in my next video very soon.